Hi, I'm Reiva with Makeup Designory. Simplicity was the catchword of the 1940s. Women were being called upon to do a lot more during this decade. Therefore, the makeup we saw was a lot more clean and natural than it was in the 1930s. Ava Gradner, Lana Turner, and Rita Hayworth are all classic examples of beauty makeup that we saw during this era. This is my model, Gretchen, and today I'm going to show you how to do a 1940s makeup application. The first step, as always, is prepping the skin. And to do this, I'm using mud primer and one of my sponges. I'm just evenly applying this primer all over her face. So I'm going to mix WB3 and CB2 together to get her skin tone. I'm using the 940 foundation brush. I usually start by applying right under the eye and moving outward. And don't forget to base out those eyelids. Get that ready for the eyeshadow application. I'm loading up my fan brush with the buttercream powder, and I'm just gonna lightly dust it down the T-zone. For the brows, I'm gonna use the 210 angle brush and a little bit of my espresso eyeshadow. Brows of the 1940s were slightly more natural than they were in the 30s. They weren't as thin or as fine, so we can be a little bit generous with this. So the trick here is to match the second eyebrow with the first. So use this one as a guide. The eyes that we saw in the 1940s were kept really clean and bright. Very little eyeliner was used, and the shadows that we saw were muted grays, navies, and some warm browns. So let's start by applying the taupe eyeshadow in the crease. I'm starting by applying the shadow to the outer corner of the eye and blending it over the lid. I'm using my 800 brush because I want it to be very diffused. Once the color is distributed onto the lid, I like to go in circular outwards motions to blend it in. I'm just going back and forth, making sure that that application is even on both eyes. Just to give it a little bit more depth. I don't want it to be a smoky eye, I want it to be clean and bright. So I'm only gonna use a teeny bit of this smoked sapphire using my 800 brush. So after I have that on there, now I'm just gonna blend it all out. Diffuse those edges and make it look as soft as possible. So before I go ahead and put in my highlights, I just wanna give her a very, very subtle drop shadow along the bottom, and I'm gonna use the smoked sapphire and my 210 angle brush to do that. I like to start at the outer corner and hug the bottom lash line as much as possible. And same to the other side. Starting on the outer corner, working your way in.